Hello everybody, this is Zach here, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to write a haiku. While these guys are short and easily written poems, there are a lot more than these things than you may think. Before we get started, let's get a little history smackdown on the haiku. So the haiku originated in Japan in its earlier forms around the 7th century. Back then the haiku was called a different name and had many more parts to it than the haiku of the day. But even though it has been popular in Japan for hundreds of years, it did not catch on in the US until the 1950s. This is because a famous Japanese haiku writer brought Western viewpoints to these poems, and eventually it spread like wildfire throughout universities in the 1960s and 70s. Now that we have a little history, let's move on to the structure of a haiku poem. So a haiku has about 17 syllables total. The first line has 5 syllables, the second line has 7 syllables, and the third line has 5 syllables again. And it can't be in any other order, it has to be 5-7-5. And this is illustrated in the example given on the right side of the screen. And is also demonstrated in this handy visual aid courtesy of Google Images. And as you can see, the 5, 7, and 5 are holding hands. They cannot be in any other order. So what does a haiku have to be about? Oh funsies. So nature is often a focus for a haiku poem, such as when you're sitting outside and you see wind blowing through the leaves and all that jazz, or a bird flying through the sky, or any moment you really just want to take and say, here, look at this. But really, a haiku can be about anything nowadays. Emotional experiences, relationships, your cat, your dog, literally just about anything. So here are a few more examples for you. The first one's a little bit more of an untraditional haiku I made up that kind of will hopefully remind you how to write a haiku. And then the second one here is a little bit more of a traditional haiku with a focus on nature and using sensory language to describe the scene. So in closing, remember that a haiku is only limited by your imagination. Just as with any other poetry or prose, you can literally put any of your experiences into this poem and it'll turn out alright, as long as you follow the structure. And also remember to use sensory language. Don't just say in the poem that it's winter, say that the snow is falling. Don't just say that it's fall, say that the leaves are falling, and so on and so forth. I hope you learned a little bit, I hope you have some fun writing a haiku, and I'll see you guys on the flip side.